Hi everyone, I'm doing an art journal page today and I've started by just gluing a map to my page. I love this technique of putting down just either book pages, dictionary pages, maps, anything goes. It gives you an instant background with details, and it's something that you don't get attached to once you are starting to build layers on top of it. So this is just glued to my page, and I've picked one of my stencils. I want lots of leaves in the back, and it can be anything. Again, this is still going to be build up of the background, so if you don't want leaves, you can do anything else. I have white gesso here and makeup sponge. I'm going to start stenciling. It will give me some kind of resist on my page, and I'm using white gesso just because I like it better than white acrylic, but you can use white acrylic paint. I like it better because it dries faster, it's more opaque, and it has a more chalky finish. But as I said, you can use white acrylic paint. You can even use if you're using acrylic paint, then you can use cream color. It also will give you a variation, and you can play with it and see what you like best. Now, I'm not concerned about a perfect stenciling. I'm not concerned about covering all the details that I've got in the back on the map, or if it's book pages. I'm just stenciling away all these leaves, and as I said, it can be anything. It can be something, some pattern that is symmetrical. It doesn't have to be something like that. I just picked this one, and as you see, I'm going quite quick about it. Of course, if I wanted the leaves to be more prominent, then I will have to go and do a second layer of the white gesso. Same thing with acrylic paint. Depends on the quality of the acrylic paint and the quality of the gesso. Sometimes you need to do another layer. So I've got this here, and I'm going to just flip it around so I can cover more of the page with leaves. I think this will do. Again, it's not that important. It's just giving more details in the back and creating some resist. Now I'm planning on going on top of it with some watery paint. And what do I mean by watery paint is that it can be lots of things. It can be sprays, it can be diluted acrylics, it can be watercolors. Anything that reacts with water can work. So, and I'm going to play with some different paints, and I will explain along as I will go and put it on the page. I'm more concerned about a shade, a color that I want to use. So if I have a green that I like in my sprays, then I will use a spray. If I have a blue color that I like in my acrylics, then that's what I will use. Same thing goes with if there is a shade that I would like to use and I only have it in watercolors, then that's what I will use. I'm just continuing to filling the page with more leaves. Not that it has to be all of it, but I feel like going all around and not leaving some spaces with nothing. So I'm just filling in some more leaf stenciling in between. Okay, I think this one would be the last one. Maybe another one here. Okay, that's enough. So I want to let this dry. I'll move the gesso aside. This needs to be dry. It almost already dry completely. So I've picked this olive green that I have in my sprays. I make my sprays mostly from gel food coloring with water. I don't have measurements. I just put a few drops of the gel food coloring, put water on, test it. If it's vibrant enough, that's good. Not, then I will add more drops of the gel food. I've also picked this color that I have. This is some pearlescent green or whatever in acrylic paint. I've got this bright blue in acrylic paint, and I've got some watercolors. This is the Paul Rubens watercolor set I have, and I'm thinking of using some of the blues here. So as I said, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you like, you can even use let's see, you can even use distress inks. If you like this color and that's what you want on your page, you can use it. You just need to smear the ink pad on some non-porous surface like this and activate it with water. So that's another way to go about it. And I'm taking a watercolor brush just because it's easier to deal with things watery with this, because it's designed to load up on the water. So you see, this is from the distressing. Now if you like drippage, you can let it drip. If you want to control it, use a brush. If you want it to be lighter, add more water as you go, like so. So that's one. I'm just playing around. Again, if I want this color, and this is acrylic, then I'll put it here. I'm just playing. It's not planned. I want just blue and green on my page in the background. Otherwise, it really is not planned. You see, I'm just smearing it, and when I want it to blend into the background, I'm just reaching for more water on my brush, and that's it. So I'm playing, and whatever will be will be. And if you really wanted to travel around, just spray it with water and let it travel on your page. If you like, as I said, drippage, I'm just going around like this. I want the blue mostly to the edges, and I want to start with the green in a minute. So just playing, and by working with diluted paint like the acrylic paint, or with sprays, anything that is translucent, then you can build up your background gradually, because you can still build on it. I can go over some areas where I've got the blue and still go and put some green. Now this is a very soft green, you can hardly see it. I'm using it more for a little bit of shimmer that sadly shimmer and metallics don't show quite well on video, but it's there. Sprays are the best because you can do it very quickly, like so. And as you can see, I'm even going on top of the blue, and I can still work on it. I can take another shade of blue from my watercolors. I can play with it. I can splatter. It's all about building layers and interest in your page, in your background. If I want darker color to the edges, I can go and put more of the dark blue to the edges. I'm just blending it in so I won't have harsh lines. Okay, almost done. I already have an interesting background, but I'm thinking of going a little bit darker because I'm picking now some green from my watercolors and just going willy-nilly, never mind, in all kinds of places. So what I started to say is that I want my background to be a little bit more darker because I'm planning of making my focal point for this page in white. So I want it to stand out, and that allows me to go darker in my background without having to fear that the focal point will disappear. And I've got all this resist from the gesso, so I can really play with the colors. You see, I'm just putting down color randomly in places until I feel like it's what I want to see. And I'm switching between the green and the dark blue until I'm satisfied with the outcome. So up to you how you want to play it. Now, it doesn't have to be two colors or two groups of colors. If you want, you can add more color to your background. I'm just in the mood today with green and blue. That's it. But you can go however you want to and have fun with it. Maybe I will do some splattering of some other color. I'm not sure yet. Right now I'm still playing with the green and the blue and putting down more and more because I still feel it needs to be a little bit more dark. Let's see. I think this is it, and I'm only thinking that I want some splattering and some shimmering. So let's see, I think I have gold somewhere. Yeah, I've got gold watercolor here. This is from the cheap store, and just to make my life easier, okay, so here we go, loading the brush I like doing splattering with watercolors when everything is still wet, because then there is some kind of reaction between all the paint. Yeah, I'm really liking this. Going all Jackson Pollock on on the page. Again, if you don't like it, don't do it. Yeah. Now I just need for everything to dry before I continue to my focal point. I'll be back. Okay, so background is dry and I've picked this stencil to be my focal point, and I'm going back to the gesso and going to start stenciling. Now I want it to be white, so I'll probably need 2 or 3 layers to get it completely white. And also if I want to later on do some fixing, or so the image that is stenciled to be more defined with more crisp lines, there is always ways to fix it. If it's with acrylic markers, like Posca pens, or, well, if you have it in you, you can fix it with just white acrylic paint and a brush, or gel pens also work. Now, I never know how I'm going to go about it until I'm finished. Sometimes when I'm finished stenciling with white, I like to do some black contour around the shape. Sometimes I like to put a little bit of color on my white stenciling. It really, each time I'm picking something different. It depends what I want to achieve at that exact moment. And sometimes I'm not really concerned about it turning quite white, and I leave it at 1 layer. It really depends what you want to achieve, the look you want to achieve. And you can always hold the stencil and just do something like this and see how it goes, and if you need something more. As long as you don't move the stencil, you can lift it and check and see how it looks. Sometimes you just need to go around the image with something darker to make it pop. Even if it's going back to the watercolors or the sprays. And the sprays you can always, it doesn't matter if they are homemade or bought, you can always just take the lid off and use the sprays with a brush if that's what you want. So I'm just going back in several areas with the gesso where I think it needs to be more white. I can also wait for it to dry, but it dries quite quickly, so I'm pretty comfortable doing it as I go and not waiting for a complete dry. Okay, I like it. So what I'm thinking is to do some fixing with white and some of connecting the dots, as I call it, especially with stenciling. And let's see, what do I want to use? I don't know. Not this one. This is too much. Maybe this one. You can even do it with correction fluid. That's what I used to do when I didn't have anything. I didn't have any white acrylic markers. I didn't have any gel pens. I used correction fluid to have white. Okay, so I'm I'm losing patience with what I've got here, so I'm taking a brush and I'm going to try and just go about it with a brush and white acrylic paint. And when I want to do something like that, I'm just taking white acrylic paint, I'm shaking it, and then I'm taking a little bit of paint like this, and that's how I have a little bit more control, and I don't need to squirt it on my palette. So I'm just connecting the branches, because what you can do, it's a stencil. A stencil needs to be broken down into shapes. Now you don't have to do it, I just feel like I need to. Yeah. I need new markers, especially the Uniball Signal. I used to order them from Amazon, but they are limiting right now the things that they are sending here, so right now I don't have I can't order from Amazon. I've managed with correction fluid before, I can manage correction fluid again. I just here, I don't know if you can see it, but I just continued with the branch I had here, and it's almost connected to one of my leaves that are stenciled in the back. I don't care. I think it's nice, and I'm just, the only way I can put it is going with the flow. What interests me, what seems right at that exact moment. I don't have any other explanation. Yeah. And stencil is not set in stone. You can do changes, you can mask some of it, you can use it however you like. Yeah, that's better. I have a jar with water here. Never leave your brushes to dry, and if you can clean them right away in the jar, it's better. Almost clean. Here we go, clean. And that's how you don't ruin your brushes. Okay, so I still think I'm going around my image with some marker. I'm going to use this. This is something, again, from the cheap store. It's just a very fine black pen. That's it, nothing else. And if you know me, I like wobbly lines, so that's what I'm going around the shape intentionally. You can do precise if that's what you like. So wobbly lines, just go with the flow and intentionally intentionally I'm going twice on the same area. I'm bringing it closer to the camera just so you will see what I'm talking about. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do all around what I've stenciled. And maybe, not sure yet, I'll bring in a hint of color, like to each a flower, or maybe each leaf. I'm not sure yet. Right now, just going over with this wobbly line all around. I'm thinking I'm going to keep it white for this time. I want it to be completely white. As I said, I'm always doing something else. Depends on my mood. So here we go. Very easy. Anyone can do it. There used to be a time that I thought everything needs to be precise and, I don't know, symmetrical and realistic, and through time I found out that I like free, organic, not precise in any way, and that's how I like it. But it's just my preferences. You can do you. It takes time to explore and realize what you like and you don't like, and also taste changes. So I still find like color combinations that I thought I wouldn't like, and now I like them. So it's just self-exploration and trying new things. If you don't like them, you don't like them. You learned something and you've done something. Oh, I'm liking it. It's really starting to take shape. And I think that the best way to go about it is to have fun. If you don't have fun, you're doing something wrong. I think I'm going to adopt this leaf that I had in the back and attach it to this, because why not? On Thursday there's going to be a live, as long as I'm still here. You can never know. And I'm going to do to start at least on creating the butterfly journal that I've talked about in the last live. I've shown in the last live how I organized the materials that I've picked for the journal, and I've done sorry, I've done I took a shoebox and turned it into an organizer for all that materials that I've picked. So if in the near future, when I'll go and do another journal, I can use it again and again to organize the materials. So if you want to work with me on building a journal, you should probably pick up a paper that you want to use in the journal. Anything, if it's all kinds of papers, all kinds of, if you want to add tags, it doesn't have to be large papers, it can be even small papers, so you can do pockets if that's what you like in your journals. If I won't forget it after I'm going with all this wobbly line, I'll bring here the box so we can go over some of it. So again, if you want to join me in starting to create a journal, you're more than welcome. And if you want to just watch me starting to create the journal, that's of course another thing. I really like doing the lives. Never thought I would, but I really like it. It's great that I have an audience to interact with and not me talking to myself like I'm doing now. And before I forget, I really want to say thank you for all the ones that take the time, first of all, to watch my videos, but also take the time and leave me a comment. It really is important to me. It keeps me going. It keeps me going because especially this time, there are days that I think, why do I do it? It's frivolous. There are more important stuff. As you know, we are at war. So some days are just, I want to throw in the towel and say, that's it, I've had enough. And then someone is leaving me a comment, even on some old video that I've done years ago, and it just picks me up and gives me a reason to continue, because sometimes I think I don't have the mental capacity to continue. But when I do, it just, things gets better, because there is a purpose to it, to this art. The purpose is to have fun. The purpose is to well, it's some kind of escape, I don't know. And I think I treat most of my art journal pages like a fantasy world, somewhere that I would like to be. You know, like in Mary Poppins, when Bert is doing the chalk paintings on the sidewalk and you can just jump into one of them. So I think that's how I see my art journals pages, somewhere that I would like to be. So yeah, this is it. I've talked too much. I really like this page and I'm leaving it as is. I want to just show you how the map is still, some of it showing through, and it just adds to the interest of the background. So it can be anything. It can be a map, just book pages. It can be a school book for that matter, with equations. So instant background, instant details, and interest to the back. And that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now. Woo! Not bye for now. I forgot about what I've talked about. Here is the shoebox that I've turned into an organized box. I'm just trying to lift the camera so you can see, and I've got all kinds of paper. I've got 12 by 12 thick ones, thin ones. I've got some dyed printer paper, some designed paper that I bought or got. I've got some with lines because sometimes I like to add an area that you can write in. And as I said, this is going to be butterflies, so I mostly got everything butterflies that I have. I've got envelopes, I've got paper napkins, all kinds of things that I've done in the past, and fussy cut, a book, a mark, some tags. So all kinds of embellishments. Here are more tags, washi tape. So a lot of things can go. I just gather around whatever I think I will want to use, because if it stays in any kind of stash, then it doesn't exist for me. I need to gather the supplies, and then as I go, I decide what I'm going to use and what not. So if you want, gather your supplies, and we'll do at least the start of a journal on Thursday. This is this, and I also promised to show how the cover for the journal turned out with a mosaic. So here it is, the art journal cover with the mosaic just from all kinds of papers. So that's how this turned out. And the tray that I showed you in the live, I just finished painting it, and I just started. So I'm going to do more waves with some painty papers, but as you can see, I just started it. So I hope I'll see you on Thursday. I post through the channel and on Facebook the times that I'm going live. For me, it's 11:30 p.m. and so I will post that, and this is it. Yeah, now I think I covered everything and haven't forgotten it. So thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you in my next video.